So, thank you very much. As you know, it's never easy to present after lunch, and especially not towards the very end of a long and intense 2-day-long program. And I also know that that was not what we were aiming at, but I'm pretty sure that after all these sessions with my colleagues, you all are more or less, experts by now. But I'm still going to try my best to give you some different perspectives and some new information. So in the next 30 minutes or so, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about our experiences in Hungary and some of the lessons we learned from 3 citizens' assemblies we ran in Hungary in the past 2 years. So as you may remember from yesterday, these are the 3 cities where DemNet organized a citizens' assembly. First one was in Budapest, and the second one was in Miskolc, and the third one actually just concluded recently in June this year. And all 3 assemblies were climate-related assemblies. And they were quite similar in structure. But over time, the methodology and the process got a little bit more and more refined, because this is also, a learning by doing thing. And thankfully, we were able to refine the process a little bit, one after the next. And we already know what we are going to do differently during the next process, which is about to take place in another big city in Hungary next spring. So I'm going to focus a little bit more on the Miskolc process because that was a very successful one, and we loved it so much. And we were very lucky from the very beginning because we had a great political buy-in. So both the mayor of Miskolc and the deputy mayor of Miskolc took part in the process from the very beginning and helped us not design the whole process, but supported us along the way. The preparations actually took for us 6 long months. And we worked together with a local NGO called the Dialogue Association. They're wonderful, and without them, I'm not sure that this assembly, would have been as nice as it turned out to be. The process itself was co-financed by DemNet and the municipality. And one of the major lesson that we learned from the Budapest Assembly, if you take a look at the topic of the Budapest Assembly, how should Budapest tackle the climate emergency? It's a super broad, gigantic topic, and it's basically impossible to discuss in just 4 days. So we knew immediately that we need to narrow the topic down and find something that is much more doable. So we were looking for a topic that helps the city to develop sustainably, that is particularly interesting and important for the residents of Miskolc, and that can help the municipality in planning future policies. So not just to approve existing ones, but we really wanted to form future policies of the cities and influence the future policies of the cities. And to come up with the topic of air pollution actually required a series and several rounds of consultation. And in that process, we also involved local NGOs, experts, external experts. And by the end of it, we realized that, yes, this is air quality. And air quality is something that can be understood and tackled at the local level very well, actually, and which also has a larger scale impact, and that is something that every resident of Miskolc experiences personally. Why? Oh, did I? Yeah. So why? because every resident of Miskolc knows that, just as Eastern Europe is separated from Western Europe by a smoke curtain, the quality of air is a lot worse in northern part of Hungary and in Miskolc than it is in other parts of the country. So you see that is Miskolc under a blanket of smog. So during this process, we focused. We were focusing on three aspects of air pollution. First one was public transportation. The second one was waste burning, and the third one was the energy efficiency of buildings. So just a little bit of the preparations and the context. So 10,000 invitation letters were sent out by the municipality, and the data was requested from the Ministry of Interior. And that sample was already representative of the overall population of Miskolc above the age of 18 in terms of age, gender, educational level, and the district of the city. 420 responded, and we left 2 weeks for the registration, which was enough, I thought. And we were very, very happy because in Budapest, only 333 citizens registered. So we consider this as a huge success. Okay, so the big question for us, especially after the Budapest Assembly, where we experienced a very high dropout rate. So the invitation letter in Budapest was responded by 333 citizens, and we selected 50 of them. And by the end of the process, only 37 stayed with us. So that is not okay. It seriously affects, the legitimacy of the process. So we knew from the very beginning that this is not okay, and we need to do something about it. So we wanted to keep or design the process as inclusive from the very beginning as possible. And we knew it very well that it starts with the invitation letter. So we kept the invitation letter as simple as possible. And the invitation letter package included a one-pager from the lead experts. And that one-pager explained in plain language why it is important for the city of Miskolc to organize this assembly and why it is important for the residents of Miskolc to take part in the process. We didn't do that in Budapest. And also the other thing that we did in Budapest, which was a huge, huge mistake, that the invitation package contained a 3-page long document, a GDPR document, legal stuff, explaining, how we obtain their personal data, how we are handling their personal data, and what is going to happen to their data. So we did that in Miskolc, and we only attached a simple page and written in simple language, explaining all these and saying that if you're interested in the detailed stuff, then please click on to this and that and go to a website and check it out. So that made a huge, huge difference. And we also emphasized in the invitation letter that no specific knowledge is required to take part. Because during the Budapest process, we received several phone calls, and most people were wondering about it. And they said that, oh, we received this letter. It sounds very interesting, and we would love to take part, but I have no expertise on this. There might be other people who are much more knowledgeable than I am. I don't want to look like a fool. So we knew that this need to be tackled. And also throughout the onboarding process. In Miskolc, that is something that I feel really, really sorry about. In the process of Budapest, we selected a gentleman who dropped out during the onboarding process. The moment he saw the contract that we need to sign with the participants so that we can pay their allowance, for example. And that contract is, a legal document. And he got completely, scared off and said that, I don't understand this contract. I don't not want to sign it. And we really tried to convince him and told him to that we can go through it together. We explained everything. He said, no, I do not trust you. I do not trust the municipality. So I'm not going to sign anything like that. So in the case of Miskolc, we organized an in-person event where the selected CA members could come, and we talked through the contract, and they signed it there on the spot. So they felt a little bit more, closer to the whole process. And you know it from Damir that it's very difficult to keep some vulnerable groups, some members from vulnerable groups in the process, single mothers, members of minority groups, people with disabilities. So we emphasized it from the very beginning that we provide home care if needed. We provide child care, so feel free to either bring your kid with you. We're gonna organize supervision, and there will be toys and stuff, so it's okay. And also we needed to change Miskolc. We needed to change the venue last minute, like literally 2 days before the process kicked off, because nobody had thought of a participant, registering and selected in a wheelchair. So at the municipality, and we did not emphasize that enough at the beginning of the discussion with the municipality. So we needed to change the venue, and we were very lucky that we found a suitable place. And from the sortition, we kept messaging people almost every day, making sure that they show up, and if they have questions, those questions are answered. And another thing that we learned from the Budapest process is that we need to really use simple language. The air quality could be a complex topic. It is a complex topic, of course, but it can be explained in a simple language. So we had a prep call with all the experts, and explained them that what they need to take into consideration when they put together their slides and why they prepare for the event itself. So they were clearly told and explained that no long and heavy sentences, no abbreviations, no English phrases. In Budapest, there was an expert who used the English word policy at least 15 times. Also, no graphs, no charts. Experts and academics especially, they tend to think that graph literacy is high. No, it isn't. So even people with higher level education can struggle, analyzing a simple graph or chart. So we told them to use pictures instead of graphs, and also to give examples and best practices. So you just imagine that you're a CA member with a lower level education, for example. Which slide would you want to deal with? This one or this one? So you really need slides that convey, emotions, and you can actually identify with. Or another example, this one? Seriously. Or this one and this one. Or again, this one, talking about, the importance of transport. Or this one. And pictures, so some pictures are okay, that are easy to understand. So like, look at this one, the smoke curtain I was telling you about. So it's so obvious, it's so visible, it's so easy to understand. And also that one, the simple before and after picture. So instead of just talking about, you know, the high-speed curve, it's just so easy to put two pictures next to each other. And everybody understands immediately what the speaker is talking about. So my conclusion was that high-quality presentations and a topic that people identify with and can relate to, you know, result in much better conversations, and they're very helpful also for the facilitators. And if the quality of the discussion is high, then it's much more likely that the process produces high level and good quality recommendations. And if you have good quality recommendations, then it's much more likely that the municipality and the decision makers will eventually implement them. So how you start and how you kick off your process is super important. The municipality of Miskolc was super happy with these recommendations. So citizens, the CA members ended up with 7 detailed recommendations. And these recommendations, as you see, some are more for the long term, some can be implemented immediately. Some are more costly, some requires basically barely any money. And also there are, you know, the 3 angles of air pollution is also, they're all reflected there. There are some that tackle energy poverty, some tackle the energy efficiency of buildings. So the municipality was happy, and so we were also happy. And the CA in Miskolc actually had a much larger impact than what we had originally thought, because it kicked off a wide-ranging public debate in Miskolc. So we conducted a survey after the CA, and according to the survey results, 46% of people living in Miskolc had heard about the Citizens Assembly and considered it to be an important initiative, which is pretty good. I mean, 46% of it's just incredibly high. So even though, you know, some people you know, tell that, oh yeah, I heard about that process, it's still, if you know, deduct that, it's still very high. So so we were very, very happy. And good communication also, I mean, that made an impact, that the mayor and the deputy mayor were communicating about the process continuously. So the local media covered basically each and every step of the process. So, and also 64% of the respondents said that they believe that the municipality will make better choices in the future regarding decisions affecting local air quality because of the assembly. And there was another important impact of the Citizens Assembly in Miskolc, is that participants felt that they are forming a community, and they feel now, they said in the anonymous survey that they feel that at the very end, that they feel that their confidence increased, that they are much more willing to take part in public consultations, public affairs, and they think that they're more capable of influencing public policy decisions after the Citizens Assembly. And the municipality, and it was their initiative, so it wasn't ours, also appointed so-called climate ambassadors from those who had participated in the assembly. And they still work with these people These ambassadors support the municipality in the implementation of the recommendations. So the city of Miskolc is it's a good path, and it was really a pleasure working with them. And also, we were quite proud because a couple of months later, the City Council also adopted the city's very first citizen participation strategy that also details, how they want to communicate and involve citizens into future processes. And the one feedback it was so good to hear that it seemed that there's that there was this palpable feeling that people are really longing for meaningful relationships and that they want to communicate with each other. And according to feedbacks we received, participants found it especially valuable that the Citizens Assembly got them out from their own bubbles, and that they got to communicate and got to work with people that they would otherwise not necessarily would interact with. So we made a short video, and by the way, this is the report we produced. I can pass it around. But this is our one and only copy left. And this is my personal copy with notes in it, so please just give it back to me. Just take a look at it. It's available in English as well. That one is in Hungarian, but it's available in English, and I can send you the link later because it's well hidden on our website. So.
Olyan emberekkel találkoztam, el se hittem volna, hogy ilyen bölcsen tudják az emberek ezt a témát kezelni.
Én, amikor megkaptam a meghívót, egyszerűen nem hittem a szememnek, hogy ennyi ember közül kiválasztanak engem.
Elképzeltem egy kaotikus, zsinatszerű dolgot, ahol az emberek bekívánják, hogy ez legyen, az legyen. Nagyon pozitív csalódás az, hogy mi történik itt, és hogy milyen szervezettséggel történik mindez.
Én nagyon nem bántam meg, hogy itt vagyok. Teljesen más, mint amit vártam, volt bennem egyfajta kétkedés.
Az itt élők, akik kilettek erre választva, különböző városrészből érkeztek, és mind más problémákat tapasztaltak, mind más, helyzeteket.
Hát ez nagyon-nagyon tetszett, hogy asztalonként voltunk beosztva, ahol heten ültünk, és mindig más asztalokkal is, minél több emberrel jöttem össze, és nagyon kedves társaság volt, és nagyon sokat adtunk egymásnak.
Valóban más együtt dolgozni egy ennyire színes társasággal, hiszen minden korosztály jelen van, és még tanárként is ahhoz szoktam, hogy egy-egy korosztályhoz beszélek, és nekik tartom az órákat, addig most más élettapasztalatokból hoznak olyan tudást, amivel én nem rendelkezem, és szerintem a fiatalabbak pedig hoznak az idősebbeknek olyan tapasztalatokat és tudást, energiát, amit fel tudunk használni.
Azt kell, hogy mondjam, a kezdeti nehézségek ellenére nagyon jól tudunk együtt dolgozni, és annyira jó, hogy mindenki más életszakaszban van, mindenki más helyről érkezett, és mindenki máshoz ért. És annyira változó vélemények és tapasztalatok vannak, hogy ez nagyon előre tudja vinni egy-egy beszélgetésünket.
sokat jelent ez, hogy a közösséget, az egyszerű embereket is bevonni. Én is örülök neki, hogy hozzájárulok ilyen dolgokhoz.
Továbbra sem a 20 éveseké a világ, és nem mi lakunk itt a városban, hanem együtt lakunk itt a többi generációval is, és ezért lenne fontos, hogy együttműködjünk.
Sokkal jobb, mint amit vártam. Mert akikkel eddig úgy előtte beszélgettem, nagyon sok negatívumot hallottam, mert hogy úgysem csinálják meg, mert úgysem lesz rá keret, mert úgyis valami más lesz. És itt most úgy jött le nekem az egész, hogy igenis ténylegesen tenni akar a városvezetés azért, hogy itt tisztább legyen a levegő, hogy a miskolciak jól érezzék magukat.
Én úgy gondolom, hogy ha ezt így felvetette az önkormányzat, komolyan gondolja azt, hogy ezeket a döntéseket valóban figyelembe veszi és megfontolja.
Most ugye megszavaztunk 7 javaslatot, és ez a 7 javaslat, ez szerintem ez nagyon égető kérdésekre és problémákra adna választ.
Talán ez a 7 probléma, mondhatjuk azt egy kis túlzással, hogy ezek az egész várost érintő problémák. Tehát nincs az, hogy egy területet vagy egy korosztályt kihagytunk volna abból, hogy az ő problémáik mik. És nyilván nem Miskolc városa fogja majd a globális felmelegedést megoldani, de most itt talán főleg arról volt szó, hogy a saját városunkban élhető körülményeket teremtsünk meg, ami rövid távon és hosszú távon is nagyon fontos.
Tehát, hogy már hány éve volt Magyarországon a rendszerváltás, és igazából a választásokon kívül nem érezhették az emberek azt, hogy hatnak arra, ami történik velük, a mindennapjaikra hatással van. És azok a 4 évenkénti időszakok nagyon kevés ahhoz képest, ahogy az életüket leélik. És kellene, hogy ne egy passzív szemlélőként érezzék magukat a saját életükben, hanem igenis, hogy hatással vannak rá.
Egy ilyen csoporton belül dolgozhattunk, és mindenkinek más ötlete, más hozzászólása lehetett a témához, és közösen alakítottunk egy véleményt. Tehát ez számomra egy nagyon hatékony módszernek tűnik, és úgy érzem, hogy én is kreatívabb tudtam lenni, mint hogyha egyedül kellett volna kicsit feszélyezve érezve magamat, megfogalmazni ötleteket.
Nem arról vitatkoztunk, hogy akkor én mondom az én 20 éves élettapasztalatom, más meg az ő 40-50 akármennyiét, és akkor egymás ellentétben, hanem hogy próbáltuk kiegészíteni.
Én szívesen elmondom az itt tapasztaltakat és az itt szerzett tudást. Felvértezett ez az egész dolog, megmondom őszintén, és ezt tovább kell adni. Tovább kell adni az ifjúságnak, tovább kell adni a fiataloknak, hogy tiszteljük, becsüljük egymást, és keressük a kapcsolatot. Ne ellenségei legyünk egymásnak, hanem próbáljuk a kapcsolatot, mert nincs olyan ember, akitől nem lehet tanulni.
So just one last personal note here, as that organizing a citizens assembly is a painful process. So every time I tell my colleagues that if I ever going to propose to do it again, shoot me in the head. And we are now preparing the 4th one. So it's just whenever I feel really down, and sometimes it happens in Hungary, I always just watch this again, and it gives some energy, so that we can continue. Yeah, thank you.